Chinutam Sharanyam Hrityartiham Pranatapala Bhavabhi Bhutam Vande Mahapurushate Charanarvindam Namah Kamalana Dear Divine Souls, I would like you to join me in a few minutes of chanting of this beautiful Sankirtan before I continue the talk from where I left off yesterday. Shri Krishna Govinda Hare Murari He Krishna Govinda Hare Murari Narayana Vasudeva Krishna Govinda Hare Murari Narayana Vasudeva सच्चे सखा है हरि हमारे सच्चे सखा है हरि हमारे माता पिता मित्र बांधव प्यारे सच्चे सखा है हरि हमारे माता पिता मित्र बांधव सच्चे सखा है हरि हमारे माता पिता मित्र बांधव प्यारे हरि हमारे माता पिता मित्र बांधव भूलो न भाई भूलो न भाई दिन रात गाओ हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा भूलो न भाई दिन रात गाओ हे नाथ नारायण Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Now please pay attention. I hope your phones are on silent or switched off. Those of you who were here yesterday have probably understood the internal aspect of what a parent is. Without understanding or even thinking about the truth, we start playing God in the world and think that the child is a part of you and you are the creator of the child. But the introspection we had yesterday, I'm sure it was an eye-opener for a lot of you, that this miracle of life that was given to you, what part did you have to play here? Did you create that life? No way. No question of it. And what about the making of that beautiful body of the child within that small little chamber which is within you? Did you play any part in that? You did not have any knowledge of it, nor were you aware of the fact how that body was being developed step by step in complete harmony. It's amazing. It's mind-boggling if you go into the understanding of how it all happens within you and you do not have a clue. Everything is so perfectly planned. Just think of it. I mean, just thinking of it connects you to the truth, the reality that within the womb, this is the province of the Creator. It is God's invisible hand that was doing all the work within the womb, and you did not know it. You didn't even think about it. All the parents think is, I'm going to be a mother, I'm going to be a father, what should we name the child, and what clothes do we buy, etc., etc. All these discussions go on, and much more than that. The stresses with school to send a boy, and with school, what profession should we encourage. I mean, as I said, we play God. But when you heard all this, then I'm sure you came to a little bit of conclusion that we are just caretakers. We have been given this beautiful reward by God Himself, and we are here to look after this child to the best of our ability. So we are go-between parents. He is the real parent, not only of that child, but of you and me and every soul. The Vedas say, Amritasya vai putram. All the beings are my children. And He is the Divine Father, the real Father of all, the eternal Father. The present life Father, temporary. Once He leaves, then we have another and another and another. These are temporary relationships. But our relationship with that Supreme Being is an eternal one. That's why all the scriptures unanimously refer to God as the parent. Tvameva mata cha pita tvameva. Divyo devayiko narayano mata pita brata. All our relationships are with Him because we are not this physical body. Our relationships in the world are connected to the physical physical body. Shri Maharaj, my spiritual master, he explains it in such a simple way through couplets. He says, Jaganate tanake hai Govind Radhe, tan chute nate tute ko saath na de. So these relationships in the world are temporary. We are temporary parents. Many a time you hear the child was born and the mother died after giving birth to the child. Now what's going to happen to the child? And soon after, 1 year later, the father dies. Where are the parents? Who's going to look after the child? It's all planned beforehand. So remembering the fact that we are temporary parents and we have been given a very special duty by God Himself. He has given us a special gift in the form of the child to look after. To our best ability, give the child good qualities, education, etc., whatever comes to it. Now, how should we go about educating this child, giving knowledge to this child? What do we do? I told you I'm going to tell you about the best school. You don't have to be worried about that school. You need to be aware of this school. Where is that school? The first school of a child is its own home. That is the main school. And the teachers of the child are the parents. This is the most important school, the very beginning. It is said that at the age of 3, these are the golden years of the child, the year of development. And at that time, the child is 3 years, but the grasping, absorbing power of that child, the power, is almost 30 to 50 times of that of an adult. We think we know it all, we are clever, we absorb more. No! That child of 3 years has got 30 to 50 times more power of grasping and absorbing. Those are the years. The important years when you are playing the role of a teacher. In fact, the learning process, do you know how early it begins? Right from the time of conception. When the mother is pregnant, the thoughts of the mother, the behavior of the mother, that is important. That is understood. And it is actually caught by the child within the womb. Does the mother ever think that way? That whatever I'm doing and behaving and thinking, that child is aware of it within the womb. It has an impact on the child. You have probably obviously heard of Prahlad, the child devotee, the son of the demon, the Rakshas, Hiranyakashipu. His wife was in an ashram, Jagadguru, and that's where Maharaj imparted the principles of bhakti to her. Prahlad heard it all in the womb and retained that knowledge even after birth. So he actually taught these principles of bhakti to the children that he used to study with. Children of about 4 or 5 years, and whenever he got an opportunity, the teachers were away, he would sit and talk to them about what bhakti, what the goal of life was. So he retained all that knowledge which he had heard in the womb. We have examples of this in our history. Then again, Abhimanyu, the son of Arjuna. Arjuna was explaining the technique of how to enter the Chakravyuh and leave to his mother Subhadra, and he said, listen very carefully to everything that I say. And she was listening, and so was the mother Uttara. Abhimanyu, she was pregnant, and Abhimanyu was in her womb, and she was listening. He was listening. So he listened till the mother was awake. And when the mother fell asleep, he only heard and understood and grasped the technique of entering the Chakravyuh. But when Arjuna explained the other part of how to get out, mother had fallen asleep. So he did not hear that part. And you know, in the Radha Maharaj, he entered the Chakravyuh with so much confidence, but unfortunately, he was treacherously killed by the enemies because he didn't know how to go out. That knowledge was not there with him. And where did he get the knowledge? In the womb itself. He retained that knowledge. So you see, the learning starts from there. We have to be very, very cautious as parents. I'm going to be a mother. It's not a joke. How we are going to think, how we are going to behave, is going to have an impact on the child right from then. We start complaining, oh, my child is always so irritable, so angry. Tell me one thing. What happened during the time of pregnancy? Well, I do admit we had a lot of arguments and things like that, and there was a lot of anger around. That's what the child absorbed and retained. And it came out later in the life, and you're thinking, why? It starts from there. So it's very important. You know, in the past, the women who were pregnant, the mothers would actually read holy books. They would meditate. They would chant. Because they wanted the children to be born with these positive sanskars, with spiritual, devotional sanskars. So what we do even during the time of pregnancy is important. Let me relate another part of our spiritual history. Few of you must have heard about the sage Jagadguru, one of the top rishis of India. And when sage Jagadguru, his wife was going to bear a child, he told his mother-in-law, look, when the child is born, before you cut the umbilical cord, at that time there was no hospital or anything, everything was at home. He told the mother-in-law, before you cut the umbilical cord, please call her. And she called him. He took the child up into his arms, as close as he could, and he whispered something in the ear of the child. The mother-in-law is thinking, what is he up to? What will the child understand? What is he whispering into the ears of the child? So she didn't say anything at that time. She continued what she needed to do. And later on she went to the father and asked him, what did you whisper into the ear of the child at that time? What would the child understand? And why before the umbilical cord is cut? The reason is that before the umbilical cord is cut, the child is still connected to the parents. Once that is cut, then the sanskars of the child also take over. So therefore this is the best time. And what did he whisper? He whispered the Shanti mantra. Swasti na Indro Vritashrava, Swasti na Ukha Vishwavedaha, Swasti na Starikshu Arishthanemi, Bhadram Karnevi Shriyama Deva. This is called very beautiful mantras of the Vedas. And briefly the meaning is, auspicious things. Let my eyes see only auspicious things. Let me see only that which is auspicious. And with everything, I should be able to serve the Lord. This was whispered. This is the foundation, the base that was given. Now we are trying to connect parenting with this timeless wisdom of the scriptures. You might say, but it all sounds very interesting and we accept it as well. But how to implement it in our daily life today? How demanding it is. And those things that you've talked about, it's a long, long time ago. Again, we have to take the support of these eternal truths, but in simple way. We'll take the few steps. The foundation. You see, the parents are very important. The role of the parent. I said to you yesterday, before you try to learn about raising children, learn how to raise your own self. That's important. Because if you are an evolved personality, you have raised yourself, you will end up with a child having the same beautiful sanskars. So in the Kathopishan is mentioned two parts. What are these two parts? The name is Prayer Marg and Shreya Marg. In simple terms, Prayer Marg is that path which gives you immediate pleasure, but it is temporary. And Shreya Marg is that which takes a long time to give you joy, pleasure, and happiness, but what you receive is permanent. Right? Now 99, I would say not 90%, but 99% in this world, they all choose that immediate pleasure which is temporary. We can see that happening. There are very, very few evolved people who have the right wisdom and understanding about what human life is about and what this world is about. Then they choose the real thing. I want permanent happiness. Suppose you were given an offer right now. On one hand temporary, one hand permanent. Your reaction will be, I want something permanent, isn't it? This is our inner desire. We don't want something temporary, we want something permanent. But when I'm talking about this permanent and temporary, it's not very easy to choose the permanent because it takes time. You put in the effort first and eventually reap the reward. Whereas for that Kriya Marg, immediate pleasure. What if you have junk food, ice cream, chocolates, immediate pleasure? What was the reaction? In a few years, blocked arteries and you had a stroke, whatever it is. You see, immediate pleasure, but it's temporary. After that, again you want the same thing, isn't it? But I don't have much time to explain examples, but I'm giving you the base. Now the parent has to understand this, and the spiritual inclination which exists in the parent, the positive thoughts that exist in the parents, they are passed on to the child. So the parent has to be a role model to get the child to grow up in the same way or a better way. What do you want? So how we behave, what we do as parents is very, very important, and you will be surprised to know that the first 7 years of the child, that's the time children spend mostly with the parents. They are going to be the teachers. Later on it's more into material education and the world. But the first 7 years, the child learns more by imitation, by watching you and observing you, than by whatever you might try to discipline the child with. It imitates you. So therefore, it learns more by what you are than what you are telling the child to do. He's watching, the child is watching what you're doing. Once a mother had a big problem. What was that? The usual problem. Children want to eat sweets and chocolates all the time. You try to stop them, then they raise a hue and cry. So she had a big problem with the child of hers, eating too much chocolates, and the teeth also, they were in a very bad state, a lot of cavities, etc. So she said, what do I do? I'm just fed up trying to get this child to understand. Then there was a Mahatma living not very far from the house. She thought maybe that Mahatma can help me out. She took the child to the Mahatma and she requested the Mahatma to help her out. Please try and get my child to understand that eating sweets, so many sweets, is not good for health. The Mahatma smiled. He said, I will definitely help you, but come back after 15 days. The mother thought, I'm in desperate need of help. And he says to come back after 15 days. Okay, if that's the case. When she met back after 15 days, the Mahatma spoke to the little child, explained to the child the pros and cons of having all these sweets. And like Shri Maharaj also says, the normal sugar that you get is white poison. A lot of people, when they have tea, they have to have 3-4 spoons, but they don't realize that they are feeding their body with white poison. Anyway, so the Mahatma explained to this little child, and it made sense to the child, and the child said, definitely, I will follow what you say, I'm not going to eat sweets anymore. Now the mother was very curious. Whatever the Mahatma said right now, he could have said that 15 days back, isn't it? She asked him the question, why did you explain all this 15 days back? He said, my dear Mataji, the problem is, I too was eating a lot of sweets at that time. And if I tried to speak to the child and explain to the child, there would not have been conviction in my tone, because I was guilty myself. So I had to come to the point that I myself realized that this is not the right thing, and therefore after trying to put a stop to my eating of sweets, I came to this point that I was able to give them up, and I could also convince a little boy not to have any more sweets. So to say, as I said, the child is actually learning from what you are, rather than what you keep telling the child to do and not to do. That doesn't bother the child. The child is watching you all the time. How you eat, what you eat, if you're fussy, how much time you spend on the telephone and chatting, and how much time do you watch TV. You do all that and you tell your child, go and study. How is it possible? They have to be examples, isn't it? Now the child is innocent. The child is a pure child. At that age, innocence is there. Even we were born innocent. But as we grew up and became adults, then all that, what you call chal kapat, the pretensions, the lies, they all came into our lives and we became hypocrites. We pretend to be what we are not before people, isn't it? We do it. The one example that Shri Maharaj always gives, it explains this very, very well. How that pure, innocent child, that purity gets tarnished. The purity becomes impure. How does it happen? The mother is sitting at home and suddenly she notices from the window that the neighbor is hopping along to come and visit her. And whenever the neighbor comes, she doesn't leave at least before an hour. And often enough, she's always asking for something or the other. Oh, my sugar is over. Oh, I need to have some tea at home. It's all. I can't go out. Just give me a little. So just for that little bit, she sits around for 1 hour and gives me a headache. She called the child. Quickly, quickly, go. You know, I can see the neighbor has come. Go and tell the neighbor that my mother is not at home. So she will go away. Now, when the neighbor came and knocked at the door, that child said to the neighbor, my mother is not at home. She told me to tell you that. But my mother is at home. So my mother told me to tell you that she's not at home, but the reality is that she's at home. The neighbor was naturally, she took the hint and promptly went back. The mother was hearing all this. And when the child came back hopping to her very happily and joyfully that he'd done the job, whatever his mother said, she gave him one slap. Stupid. You don't even know what to say. You don't know how to jhupi nahi bolna aata. Now this child is wondering what he did wrong. I mean, he did what exactly had happened, isn't it? Nay, you should not have said that my mother is saying that. You should have just said she's not at home. See, now the child has learned to lie. That innocent child has learned. Gradually the child starts lying to his own mother. That's where he has learned to lie from. So we have to be very, very cautious. It's not a small job to be a parent. Especially in these tender years where everything is grasped by watching, by observing. You might say anything, but remember, 2 eyes are watching you all the time. It's like a CCTV camera that's on you and not even aware of it. So the child is watching you and is trying to follow that. So children are innocent, they are always joyful, and they're always, they're a feast for the eyes. There were little children here yesterday, and one little boy was hopping around merrily, and they jump around, they laugh, they are bubbling with joy and excitement all the time. And for what? No reason. That's their nature. They're always joyful. They don't need a reason to be happy. Whereas we need a reason to be happy. They don't have any deadlines. They don't have any past or future. So this is their nature. But what about us? We have a lot to learn. We think we are going to teach the child. But that gift that God has given us is there even for our learning. From the child, we learn patience. We learn tolerance. We learn unselfishness. We learn how to be non-judgmental, etc. All these qualities are natural in the child. Once, 2 children were fighting in the neighborhood. Children always play with the neighbor's children, right? So this little boy was playing with the neighbor's child, and both of them were happily enjoying themselves playing. And then after some time they got into a fight. Normal. They will get into a fight. And when they got into a fight, the neighbor's child pushed this other child, and he fell to the ground, and clothes were all full of dust, and face was also all full of mud. And this child went home crying, complaining to his mother. That boy, he pushed me, and he's always bullying me. When the mother saw the state of her child, she was furious. She promptly went to the neighbor's house and she called for the mother. What do you think of your child? He's always bullying my child. You better make sure that this doesn't happen next time, or I'm not going to send my child out to play with your child. This is not fair at all. Why didn't you tell us your child? They were arguing and fighting with each other. She was saying something, he was saying, your child also does that. They were arguing. And when the mother looked around, what did she see? Both the children were playing again. You see, they don't keep these things into the heart. They are joyful again. And what about us? If somebody says you're an idiot, we are adults. The Mevakufo, the Murko, then we remember it. And we don't like to see that person's face. Every time you see him, you remember, he said that to me, he said that to me. Don't we do that? And we probably remember it all our lifetime. And these children, they have fought with each other and they are back to normal. Why? Because as they grow up, our ego, that ego, it grows to such an extent that our behavior with each other is governed by that. We don't like people who criticize us. Whereas on the spiritual path, it is said that welcome people who criticize you because it will make you humble. Do you want that? No way. We like people who praise us and we say, it's a very nice person because he praises you. So we had to learn how to play the role of a person who is ideal. If we want our children to be ideal, then this is what we have to be very cautious about. So if we link ourselves with our spiritual wisdom and keep the goal to be Shreyamar, not Preyamar. Sometimes we pamper our children because we have lacked a lot of things in childhood, so we want to give those things to our children. So these days, the popular thing to do is give them gadgets. And when the child gets gadgets, the child is busy. Sometimes children do it, parents do it to pamper the children, and sometimes they do it because they are busy. This is the best way. Just give them something to watch. Then you can do what you need to. Whether you actually need to do something important or you want to be busy on the phone and you don't want any interference from the child. And then many times parents come up to me. That child has got such thick glasses. What happened? The child needs to be only 5 years. Because the child is constantly on the iPad. It won't leave. Try something. No, the moment I take the iPad, the child starts screaming. But who started this story? We just do it just to escape, right? Either to pamper them or to escape. So how we are going to bring up our children? The balance between a loving parent and a disciplining guardian. These are two things, isn't it? So we have to get that balance, and this balance is not something which is a blueprint. Somebody says, this is what I do with my child, and somebody tells you do this. It's not going to work because each child is different, remember that. I don't know what these parenting books, they're giving you hints, but you are the best person to decide. Yesterday I mentioned to you that the moment you are given this gift in the form of a child, you are also given the instinct and common sense by God how to bring up that child. Now instead of using that, if we are going to take guidelines from other people, who has written these books? Ordinary people, imperfect people, they are not realized saints. I have given the guidance from the realized saints. They are telling that remember, you have two goals in life. One is this physical body. This world has been created for that. Food, clothes and shelter is available for us. And that's for this physical body. However, the whole setup today, unfortunately, the whole stress is upon academic education. There is so much of peer pressure. There's so much of competition that is stressing both the parents and the child. And what is this education about? Swami Vivekananda says, it is only a bread-winning education. Roti dal chawal, that's what it is for. And such a hue and cry all over the world. It's a question of life and death. The importance we are giving it, right? Just let the child go free. No children, I haven't seen many children who are leading a natural life. from one class to another. What is the mother doing? Busy dropping the child after school to the karate class, and after the karate class, the child was taken to the sports, training or whatever it may be, and after that is this dancing class, and after that is the singing class. Where does the child have the time to actually do its own thinking? No time. So much of competition, and most often parents thrust their own ambitions and desires upon the child, and they have so much expectations. They're trying to pamper the child so that the child fares well, and then eventually what happens? This child is an extension of their own ego. So when the child has done well and topped in the class or college, whatever, it's my child. I have made it. That's what we think. The child is born with its own past sanskars. So what we have to do, along with this material side of it, which is also necessary, but do not give it complete priority, balance it out with the spiritual. Not about IQ and EQ, SQ. SQ is the main thing that is going to take us to our eternal home. This world is not our eternal home. What is SQ? Spirituality. It's a disbalance that is happening in the world that is leading to all the stress, chaos, and over anxiety. So we must create time. Create time for this child. You've given birth to. You've been given a gift to look after. The mother is so busy because families have become nuclear families, there are no grandparents around. Well, that's the way the trend is today. Not many people want to live with their parents. No. I want independence. I've seen a lot of families like that. The grandparents want the children to stay with them because they like to enjoy the children and the grandchildren. And they buy a big house. And what happens? No, we are not comfortable. We want our own house. Okay, that's the way it's going to be. You have your own house. You have more, duties to perform. You have no help. Right? So when you have no help, then you have to create time for that child. No, but we are busy because education is so expensive and this, that and the other. So we are doing it for our child. But what's the point of that if you're not going to give quality time to your child? That's the main thing. I was just reading today about a quote from, who was it? Lao Tzu. He was the founder of Taoism. And he talked about people saying, I don't have time. You know, this philosopher was a very, very ancient philosopher. And he gave this quote, those people who say, I don't have time, it means they do not want to do. That's why we say that. When you don't want to do something, you will say there's no time. Whatever you think is necessary, we create time. You agree with me? We will find time. This is necessary. So if spirituality and bringing up your child in a balanced way is not important, if that's not your priority, then don't complain when your child becomes a disbeliever and goes out of hand, becomes disobedient. You didn't give time. The main point is to sit with the child. The child wants love and security. Sit with the child. Take up a book. We have so many beautiful stories in Panchatantra, which have got a kind of motto behind them, something to teach you. Or you can take a Ramayana or anything. Sit down with the child. Read it out to the child. Explain it to the child. Shower your love. Give those good qualities. And keep a routine every day of a bit of chanting with the child. Teach the child some simple chants. That I am your parent, but your parent, my parent is God. You taught your children Tvameva Mata, right? So when you taught the child Tvameva Mata Chapita Tvameva, did you tell the child that I am your temporary parent? He is the permanent one. How many parents did that? we taught the verse to the child and we're very proud. मेरा बेटा वो सब याद किए, अरे याद किए हैं, लेकिन उसका मीनिंग क्या है वो भी तो बताओ. So we have to give the child some positive, some spiritual qualities and do not focus on the temporary. True, we have to do a few things here and there. We give children toys. But I know these days are some people who have got a huge room. What is it? Full of toys. All the latest toys are given to the child. They literally have a huge car to move around in the house and back into things. Why did you give all that to your child? We have to bring the child up in a simple way. Simple way, simple living with high thinking. They go together, right? So if you focus on all these availabilities outside, all these toys and things that are available, it starts with that, temporary. Grades, these are temporary. University, that's temporary. Then your houses, your car, everything is temporary, isn't it? So that should not be the priority. That should be a secondary part of your life. And we should try to inculcate the qualities that are permanent. I said Shri and prayer, they balance together. So if your life itself is focused on that which is permanent, you give that a priority in your own family, then what happens? The child learns very quickly, remember that. Up to the age of 7, whatever you do, the child will pick that up. You don't need to teach the child. So, connecting ourselves to this wonderful guidelines which are contained in our timeless wisdom of the scriptures, we will definitely be able to be more at harmony and more joyful than a normal parent in the world who does not have a clue about what parenting is and who we are. They are always stressed. And when a parent is stressed, the child also catches that stress. So these few points that I've given you, we should try to keep that in mind. And don't say or complain that my children are not listening to me. The children are watching you. They may not listen to you, they are watching you. They are not good at listening. They are more into learning from what you are doing yourself. So, these primary years, I said the school is home. It may spend a few hours at school, but the home school is most important. If you have given this time to the child and inculcated the important things, the permanent aspect, and gradually, as I said, make a routine of chanting and an aarti, sit together. Don't encourage fast food. It becomes an easy way out and that's what the children want. That's available. Fast food is going to be harmful. It creates it has an impact on the mind as well. The children will be full of the wrong kind of energy and their kind of attitude and behavior is not going to be the same as if you were to give them freshly cooked food. Inculcate such habits. As I said, bringing up a child is not a joke and just enjoying a few things here and there and because the child has topped the grade that you're a proud father. No, there is much more to it. And this is something that we owe to God. The gift has been given by God. And this child, we have to learn more from the child. There's a lot we can learn from the child, as I explained with a few examples. And at the same time, as I said, we have to draw the line between a loving parent and a guardian for discipline. We are like sculptors. You know what a sculptor is? Who carves sculptures. So the parent is like a sculptor. The parent is going to do the carving. Carving means the raising of the child. Now, if the sculptor uses the chisel too much, like nagging the child, disciplining, scolding the child, then if the chisel is used too much, then the sculpture can break. And if that chisel is not used enough, just barely, then what you will have as a result will be an ugly sculpture. So it has to be just right. But eventually remember that there is no perfect parent, neither is there any perfect child. We are all material beings and we are trying to do our best, and then the satisfaction will only come when we follow the guidelines of Shri Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. What does he say? Karmanyevadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. Second chapter, 47th verse. You try to do your very best and leave the rest to me. Many a times you are doing your best and the result you are getting is opposite, and that frustrates you. Don't be concerned about that. That child belongs to God first and then to you. Right? So, from the best of our ability, whatever we know, we try to raise the child. And we have to give a lot of sacrifice, you see. We cannot be selfish. For the upbringing of the child, we have to learn tolerance and all these qualities. They come to you naturally. They have to come to you. So we do what we can do from our side and leave the rest to God. You are the Father. You know that I'm trying to do what I can, but I'm not perfect. So you have to help me out. And many a times remember one thing. We always think success is important for the child. Failures are many a times better teachers. There have been many who have learned from failure. Even our president, past president, forgotten his name. He came from a very poor family, selling newspapers, etc. just for a living. And one day he became the president. So there are few things that are connected to destiny. And we think we can rule and make the children all wealthy, prosperous, status-oriented. No. You do what you can and leave the rest. The child has got his own sanskars, and that will bear fruit in due time. So the Bhagavad Gita gives you the guidelines to this, and all scriptures too. So if we connect ourselves to this timeless wisdom, you will start experiencing how smooth it is as compared to bringing up children without this understanding of life. So with these words, we just stop here about parenting. It's a learning process, you see. As I said, each child is different from the other. We learn. And if this learning is coupled with prayer to that Supreme Father who we all belong to, then you will see that things start working out. And you wonder that you were not able to do, and it just happened. So that part is very, very important. Boli Vrindavan Bihari Lal Ki Jai. Bhakti Yoga Sapta Jagadguru Tam Shri Kripalu Mahaprabhu Ki Jai. We have some couple of couplets composed by Shri Maharaj. So connected to what we have been listening to, the more we repeat what we are listening to, then there is retention. See, retention is important. When we listen, we think, yes, I have understood it all. But revision is necessary So these beautiful verses which are from a book of 11,111 couplets written by the fifth original Jagadguru, my spiritual master. It's called Radha Govindit. So we were talking about God being the father and the mother, but here it is said Guru Mata. The Guru is the mother. God does not come to us directly. He's playing the role of a mother. But the more important role is played by the Guru. What does he do as a mother? The child of that Guru is the man. See, important. Each word is important. Man. The mind is the child. The mind is the mischief maker. The mind is responsible for the bondage that we are going through. All the stress, the suffering. The mind. Mind is impure. So what does the Guru do? He helps to purify this impure mind which is covered with layers and layers and layers of impurities gathered through countless lives. We are not even aware of it. So it's the Guru who does it. And God says, I will only take you home. I will only come into your heart when your heart is pure. Yes, I will do all the other things for you. I will make your body in the womb. I will arrange for everything once you come out, the labor pains, the milk in the mother's breast, everything I do for you. Even now he's doing it. We are sitting over here and breathing. Are you aware of it? The machinery is there. And we are breathing. We just eat. Everything follows. Blood, muscle, whatever is needed, it follows. The machinery is doing everything. But the main part, we will keep revolving in the cycle of birth and death till the mind is purified. And who will do that? God says, that's not my job. Go to the Guru. The hard job will be done by him. And then, of course, Guru is, God himself comes in the form of different teachers. So he comes to you and then he helps you to purify your mind. And then what does he do? He puts you into the lap of God, because now you are ready to receive that grace. To Guru to hai Pitasa. Now the next line says he's a father. What does the father do? The girl is brought up by the father, given a good education, given good qualities. Now the girl is grown up and ready to get married, right? Then what happens? Kanya ko sajane. Kanya means this girl. He actually decorates her. Decorates her not with all the devil jewelry and diamonds and saris we have. This decoration is spiritual qualities. He gives the girl these spiritual qualities, these beautiful qualities, and then he gets her to reach home, the home where we all belong to, the home of Shri Krishna. So the Guru plays a more prominent role. After God, the next role, the first basic role is played by God. But the important role which is going to get us out of this cycle of birth and death, coming back, being born again, growing up, then becoming a parent, then again look after the child, then again die, and again another child. Never ending. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, apunarapi janani jatre shayanam. Again ulta karo. We want to get out of it. So for getting out of it, the Guru will help you. So therefore, the role of the Guru is far more important than God when it comes to help us to attain liberation and divine love. Radhe Radhe Govinda Govinda Radhe 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 Govinda Govinda Radhe 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 Guru-mata, Shishu-mana, Govinda Radhey, Vimala Vanake, Adi Bhod Satguru Sarkar ki jai. Jai Jai Shri Radhe, Jai Jai Shri Radhe, Jai Jai Shri Radhe. I am very grateful to Sam Uncle and all the organizers over here, because I like to come here every time I come to Singapore. This place is very, very special for me. So although there are some who say it's so far, Didi, I said, it doesn't matter if it's far, but it is a very special place. We have all these temples downstairs and lots of people there today, special festival, and yet we continue to have a talk over here. So this is all the grace of the Lord, and He has made you as an instrument. So with His grace, we will be able to continue like this in the future again. And also thankful to all of you who have come here to receive this wonderful, timeless wisdom. The source of this wisdom is my spiritual master, the fifth provisional Jagadguru. All that I have said comes from his teachings. So all his literature is there right at the back, beautiful, precious gems, which we need to have with us all the time, because we forget. And also, before you leave, all those who have come for the first time, please come and take a small little book which has got precious words of wisdom as a little gift before you leave. So right now we have about a little bit of time for a question and answer session. So if any of you would like to ask, you are welcome to do so. After that we have Radha. We have parents here, we have grandparents here, and we have would-be parents. Different categories. So, is there anybody who would like to ask anything? Yes.
Radhey, can we still read these books on parenting? And just apply, could we still read these books on parenting that are out there, and then apply our discretion to what to use, what not to use? Because sometimes, like the basis of knowledge is limited of what options, what are the different.
I wasn't able to hear what you're asking.
Okay, well, my question was on these books on parenting that are out there. is it still alright for us? Because we do need knowledge, like on different options open to us. So is it still okay for us to read these books and then apply our discretion as to what to do or what not to do? Because there are scenarios, there are cases.
There's endless amount of books on parenting. I was just going through what is available. And each person is saying this book is an absolute must. Or these 3 books are the most important ones, you must read it. Now how do we go about choosing which one to decide upon? And I mentioned yesterday and today as well that when we are given a child, then a common sense and instinct is also provided to the parent, and these books, the blueprint will not apply to all the children. You see, there are no hard and fast rules because each child is different. Even in your own family, if there are 2 or 3 children, we will observe that they have got different past sanskars and their behavior is different. The parents may be the same. Even twins, they are different. So we have to go according to what the child is. And if you think you need help from that, I don't know. I think a spiritual person will be able to help you in a balanced way more than those books that are written by. And everybody writes from their side what they think is parenting is about. As I said yesterday, when our grandparents were there or our great-grandparents, there were no books at all. And they didn't bring up their children. Because at that time people had a balanced life. It was both material and spiritual, but gradually the shift is towards material. Now if we understand the few points that are given, if we keep those in mind, and as I said, we are go-between parents, and we keep Krishna in between as well, and keep that prayer and that environment of positive environment, spiritual inclination, along with all that is necessary in the world today, there will be a smooth balance in our upbringing of the children. But if you still feel, I don't know what is in those books, because everybody who writes will write according to what they think. Like Sri Krishna explained to Uddhav when he asked him that why are there so many books and so many teachers, right? In the Bhagavad Puran there is this verse, Vadanti Vishwam, Vadanti Tattva. There are many verses, and one of them is that why so many teachers and all that. And you have given the word in your book, the Vedas and whatever, that's your word. Why are there so many interpretations? And Sri Krishna said, because those who read these books of scriptures, they had their own, you could say, way of thinking, their own past impressions. So they interpreted these divine truths according to their own mental inclination. So these parenting books, who has written them? What is their way of thinking? Is it totally materialistic? All focus on academic education? It all depends. And I have explained that we need both. We are both the body and we are also the soul. So the balance will only be achieved if you give food to both, the body and the soul. And this has to be understood first by the parents as well, that we have a temporary goal and we have a permanent goal as well.
Thank you.
You can take up the Bhagavad because this will answer your question. Vadanti Krishna Shreyansi Bahuni Brahma Padina, 11th canto, 14th chapter, 1st verse. Uddhav is asking the question on our behalf, and Shri Krishna is explaining why so many paths and so many teachers. And today the same thing applies to parenting.
Yeah, we will now stand for the arati.
आरती प्रीतम प्यारी के भगवान आरती प्रीतम प्यारी के Devi